I'm Jacqueline with Airport Improvement Magazine, and I'm here today with Kim Dark from Sloan. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Well, so this is your first time being an exhibitor.
It is. It is. So
That's exciting.
It's really exciting, and I think with 𝗵𝗵𝙢, I've followed them and been a member for years and years, and just timing never really worked out with being able to exhibit.
Right.
And our products in so many airports, it absolutely made sense. So
Totally.
it was like, all right, let's make sure my schedule works this time.
Yes.
And it did. So we're excited that we're here.
Fantastic.
So far, it's been great.
So like you said, in airports I think a lot of people
Yes.
have seen the Sloan name, but tell us a little background about what all you do with all sorts of water solutions.
Oh, there's so many. So we are a 120-year-old company, and we invented the flush valve, which is really iconic, great invention for everybody. So it stands to our sustainability and innovation at Sloan, which is really exciting.
Right.
And from that, if you think about faucets and the infrared technology so that you're not touching anything, all the way to, and I believe it's 2014 is when we created the all-in-one sink. So it's like continuing this legacy of how can we save water, how can we make things easier for people.
Right.
And the sinks are what really came about. Now we've had the air deck since 2014, huge hit in airports. Now recently we came out with the flight deck. So, and that is like the air deck and more. And that happens from listening to our customers, listening to airports, listening to designers, general contractors, plumbing contractors.
Right.
What do we need to do in the product to make it better, easier for you and easier for the consumer overall? Because that's
Right.
what we're all trying to do.
So
make things easier for
what
them.
were some of the key improvements from the air deck to the flight deck?
So in my opinion, one of the biggest ones was the access to below mechanics.
Okay.
So generally on the sinks, you go from the front and you have to lift up an apron, and that's where you vacuum off the hand dryer. That's where you would fill the soap. That's all the mechanics that are underneath there. Well, when you do that, you may have to close the restroom
Right.
to do something like that. Well, with the flight deck, you can actually choose. So you can have it where it's access from the front or access from the chase. And so when the access is from the chase, the airport, so your maintenance can get to it without ever having to go in the restroom.
So no downtime for the maintenance.
No
it
downtime.
Can still be operating on the
Yeah.
customer-facing side. No one knows that you're back there working on it.
Right, 100%. And then just added for facilities when they have to refill the soap, there is I'm going to see if a 2.8 gallon reservoir. And so you fill it up from the top. So there's like a shelf, there's a little button, and you just put the soap in there and it drains into that reservoir. And then you just continually top it off when you see a little light up.
Right.
So they know if they're in there, they don't have to wait that long. And it's a closed system. So when we say closed, you can see somewhere the soap will take, the big pink jugs you'd see people,
Right.
You pour it over. So not really the best, because if there's any bacteria, that pulls it down into the reservoir. So you don't really want that. But with the closed, you put the nozzle in, you hear a little click, everything starts to drain, nothing else can get in there. So it's keeping the soap in the soap reservoir and nothing else.
More hygienic as well. Yeah.
More hygienic. Yeah. So it's all those little changes that I think really make a difference. And it still has the great, as the air deck, it still has where everything is pouring right into the basin. So you've got your dryer, you've got your faucet, and you have your soap right there. There's no messy water trail. And that's what you want, right? You don't want slip and
Right.
fall. That's huge. You don't want that in
Right.
airports. They're so high traffic that keeping everything right there in the basin
Right.
is a huge help. So
Lot
those are,
safer.
So, yeah.
And less cleaning in between to keep it safe.
Yeah.
So tell us, you have 3 different levels of sink.
We do. And this really speaks to, again, I'm going to keep saying innovation, but it really does when you think about what consumers need. So the flight deck, so think this is like the creme de la creme. It's gorgeous. You get to build it any way you want. So designers can do it how they want to do it. And the air deck. So those have the dryers on them. Well, then you move down, then we've got the designer series. And in that, it's really, you still get all these bells and whistles. You make it the way you want. It can be as long as you want. Baby changers. How do you want cabinets underneath? Do you want enclosures that flip up? Like, you can specify all of those to exactly how you want it, but you're looking at a lower price point. So it's still just as beautiful. And then if you have to go even lower on the price point, because budgets can be all over the place, well, then we have molded. And so you can get a molded sink that also has a dryer on it to meet that need or without, and then you've got even a lower price point. But the aesthetics all stay the same, so the owners are getting what they agreed to,
Right.
just at lower price points.
So at what point in the process would you be working with designers if they wanted to customize it more?
So we usually, when they're getting the business from the airport, so right at the very beginning, that's the key. That's like the perfect time, because then we can give you all the information on the sink and what you need to know, so that you don't have to go back and continually change things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the best time to get involved.
Okay, so talking
Yes.
about innovation, tell us some about the IoT smart technology and how you've incorporated that to meet needs.
So, okay, yeah, another huge thing. Thing is probably the wrong word for it, but a huge achievement, I think, for us and what we're doing and trying to make things easier and healthier for everybody. So, 𝗬𝗲 and our IoT, this is really, I want to say it's more for maintenance and facilities. So, embedded, you can get in flushometers, in our water bottle fillers, in faucets. You're going to get this technology where it's going to tell you if you are low on something, if you need to do a line flush. Like maybe you've had, I don't know, maybe a certain restroom's been closed for a while and you're like, okay, we need to reopen. We're going to do a line flush, make sure everything's going okay. And you can do that from your desk. You don't have to even go in there. So that saves time, right? You can also get a lot of inferred information from there. So if you know that a flush valve has been activated so many times, it's going to alert you and be like, oh, well, wait a minute. You know what? It's time to change that diaphragm on there. And so that helps maintenance.
Right.
But being able to have facilities sit at their desk and see what's happening with these products and take care of them and get there before a consumer finds out what's happening.
Right.
I mean, that's invaluable, right? Because you don't want somebody complaining or calling the number that's in the restrooms, like to say what's wrong. They're going to know before that and be able to do it. And that's invaluable.
Right. Well, while traveling, I mean, one of the most important things is getting in and out of the restroom.
Yeah.
So if you can monitor and be proactive on things so that they aren't even disrupted.
Oh, 100%. And that just keeping everything clean and hygienic. And you think about, if you can compare it almost to restaurants, right? If you were to go into a restaurant and the restroom was filthy, you're going to think that same thing's happening in the kitchen. We don't want that in an airport. It's like, oh, can they not run this airport too if they can't even clean a restroom, right? So it helps get that mindset with the users.
Right. Yeah. So tell us some about your bottle fillers and water cooler products.
So, okay, we'll start with number one. They're gorgeous. So the bottle fillers, they really met a need that we didn't have with our product. So it was just making our product offerings more robust. So what I love about them and what the designers are saying they love about them, when they come in a really sleek black color, like graphite, which is really, really pretty. Maintenance really loves them because they're really easy to change out the filters and to service. So in some, they swing open. So you just swing open this door and you can go ahead and fix whatever needs to be fixed. Or when you need to change a filter, there's just like this little arm. If this were, and it drops down, take the filter out, change it, put the new one in. You're not busting any knuckles or anything like that. It's really simple to do that. And the other thing that many people won't notice, but I think is great. So when you're really trying to hydrate, running through, like as a consumer, like I'm like, all right, I'm running around, I want to do this. Well, you can see the dial. It's like, well, how many ounces am I filling? And then you're seeing how many bottles, plastic bottles have you saved by using this. And it also, we have other ways to tell when the filter needs to be changed. So I don't know if you've ever seen where it's like you see this bright red and it's just like, whoa, like you stay away from that. You're like, oh, I'm not going near that. Right? And this one doesn't. It's a nice soft light. So it's kind of like, hey, you need to, take a look at me. You need to change it. But it's not glaring like that. So I think that all those things just show just its beauty, and it works like all our products, right? Engineers love them because they know it works. And now we're meeting the designer needs and the owner's needs because now they're just beautiful as well.
Yeah. The 𝗬𝗲 that you mentioned, is that compatible with the drop spot?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So this is really cool. So I was mentioning those line flushes that you can do on the faucets. Same thing. So you can still do that. You can do that with the bottle filler. And it's also, now I remember I mentioned that light that'll go off, like the nice soft white one. Maintenance will actually know before that even goes off that it's time to maintain, it's time to change that filter. So they can gather all of that information before anything happens. So keeping it up and running without any interruptions at all for those that want to use it.
That's excellent. So tons of ways that you've innovated to meet client needs and help clients face challenges like keeping things safe, plenty of monitoring to cut down on maintenance, helping be proactive. Anything else I'm missing? Not that that's not enough.
Gosh,
just to keep things running.
It just keeps things running. And I think when you look at the entire line of what we have, we're really taking into account the owners, the people that are going to be using them, but then everybody else that's involved, the architects, the general contractors, your engineers, your plumbing contractors, maintenance. Like, we're looking to everybody to make sure we're making these work for everyone. And I think that's great. I mean, I think that has a lot to say about Sloan and what we're trying to do to make sure restrooms are beautiful.
And why you've been around for so long.
Exactly, right? I think we've got it down now, but we're still learning. That's what's fun.
Exactly.
Still learning and innovating, so that makes it even better.
Still evolving and innovating, yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Kim, for telling us all about Sloan. And
you're welcome. I'm welcome. This was great.
All the water solutions and keeping things running.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for stopping by, too. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks.